Question, wanted to know if we could circle back around to career transition. I'm a current MBA holder, of course, and I've been applying for 18 months after the graduation with no real bites. Currently considering getting recertified, have a social media certification, looking at digital media or Salesforce or something. Like, what are the strategies, especially for Emily since she went from automotive to tech, is that correct? What are the strategies that you used that were successful in bridging the gap between the two industries while not having to take a step back in pay or responsibilities?
I think I said earlier, I knew that I didn't want to have a long-term stint in sales, but that's what my role was in automotive. I was a market lead. I would go from dealership to dealership and help them to develop their sales strategy. And I obviously did not want to step down in pay. It is not cheap in the Bay Area. So some of the things that I started to do was becoming an expert in sales in the technology field. So software as a service is huge in the Bay Area. So I began to post on LinkedIn, I began to research, I began to go to all of the event networking sessions. I'm sure these are things that you're familiar with and very, very familiar with. But I think reverse recruiting is a technique that I had to learn. And so essentially what that is seeking out the titles of the people who essentially would bridge that gap between the connection. Finding those recruiters, finding ways to get in front of them at these events that the companies were hosting, and also finding people that would hold the title that I would want to move into. So I found people who were relationship managers was the title that I took on. So I met with a lot of them, learned about what their role was and how they became successful, and learn how to speak to those skills in front of these prospective hiring managers and these recruiters. I think go home and Google reverse recruiting, and I think that was really what helped me close that gap and make that transition ultimately.
All right, so reverse recruiting, Google it, Google it. All right. So we are out of time. Any last quick things that you all want to plug or you want people to hear? I want to start with you, Daryl. I'm going to go Emily and then Jack. Any final comments?
Yeah, I mean, the final thing, I actually had a lunch with one of my former colleagues a couple of weeks ago. He moved to one of our competitors, and he was talking about his transition and why he made it, and he was talking about how he early on in his career he wasn't a steward of his advancement. He just basically let the organization promote him as they saw fit, and wasn't really taking the reins with his career. And so that's just one thing that I would want to encourage everyone to do. Take the reins of your career. Definitely, be a steward of your profession, of your skill set. Grow it, and always keep asking. How do I get better? You can learn. You can take more courses. You can get certifications. You can do things, but always just continue to have that at the forefront.
Thank you. Daryl Dortch. Give it up for Daryl Dortch.
I think the one thought that I would love to leave everybody with is you don't have to be an extrovert to be an influencer. I myself am actually quite introverted, and so getting in networking spaces or in environments like this is difficult for me sometimes, but I've learned that there is an opportunity for me to create impact for people, so I take advantage of that and find ways to be influencers in spaces that are comfortable for you, and find ways to get out of that comfort zone in a way that is as easily facilitated as possible. Because I know for introverts it's not as simple, but whether that is posting on social media about your expertise in your field, whether that's getting into small group situations, or that's getting into other cross-functional groups and creating that influence among other stakeholders and creating visibility for yourself, I think that's what will really help you to blaze your career in any way that you would want.
Thank you. Emily Cunningham.
Really quick. I got two things to say. One, I'm gonna put a challenge out to everyone sitting in the audience right now. make sure that you connect with at least 5 people of the opposite sex before you leave here and beeline straight to your car. 5 people, just 5, just have a candid conversation about yourself and who you are. And I'm really big about connections. I'm passionate about it in every single way, and actually have a new initiative that's out. Some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't. It's called Good Men. Goodmen.tv. You can go to goodmen.tv. If you are a good man or if you're looking for a good man, it's helping quality women connect and meet quality men. Because the question that I get the most is, where are all the good men? Listen, we have a database of thousands of good men saying that I'm single, successful, and ready to be married, and they're looking for quality women.
You are never going to be able to get out of here. Give it up for A. Daniels. Give it up for Jack A. Daniels. So after you find that good man or woman, I come up with a new system called the Fix My Marriage system. It helps you to negotiate the struggles of marriage. If you want more information on that, just simply text TART, T-A-R-T-T, to 22828. And again, that's text TART, T-A-R-T-T, to 22828, and I'll send you tips on how to make marriages work. Because no amount of success in business is worth personal failure. Have you enjoyed the panel today? All right. So I want to take this time on behalf of my panelists to thank the association, Black MBA Atlanta chapter for having us. We thank you very much.